Christy Mattoon here, your subconscious change expert. I'm really excited to be with you. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm super excited to share my knowledge and my understanding of subconscious change with you. It's been a long road and a long journey, and to be at the point that I'm at today, doing what I'm doing, it just is such an amazing gift and an amazing thing that I can be here to stand and share with you. So for you to get the most out of this, I want you to turn off your Facebook, put down your cell phone, put everything aside that could be a distraction, and really put your 100% into this. Grab a notebook and a pencil if you want to, take some notes, and we're going to jump right into this. So I want you to think about a time when you've just been sitting and you feel like you're in a dark room and you're just kind of stuck. Everything around you seems kind of far away and you're just distant. Right? That's not the kind of life that we're meant to live. So the goal with this is about self-sufficiency. How do you clear your subconscious mind the quickest, most reliable way that gives you the longest lasting results? So the goal is self-sufficiency. I want you to be able to do this and handle your life in a way that you want to, that's meaningful for you, where you don't have to engage with a ton of doctors and be out looking for people to do this thing for you. So let me ask you a few questions. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to feel good about life? You want to earn more? You want to be prosperous? You want to be in health? You want to feel like you can move and do the things that you want to do, but you can't? Life shouldn't be this hard. This isn't the first time you've wanted change. It isn't the first time you've searched to find answers to help yourself out. But no matter what you do, you always seem to hit that proverbial wall. Do you know what I'm talking about? And you get stuck. It's like you're self-sabotaging yourself. But you don't really feel like you are, but that's what keeps happening. You've been there, haven't you? What is it about you that keeps you from moving forward? From the desires of your heart, from your dream, from getting on your path? How many times a day do you stop and ask, why me? So nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun unless you don't have a clear understanding. And I want to show you a different way to look at the issues surrounding you, from the physical and the energetic. I believe that they're inseparable, and it's the way that God made the system. There is chemistry and functionality to the way you work, the way your body works, the way your brain works, the way you think, and why you do the things that you do. So you're not put here to be tortured. You weren't. You were not put here to be tortured. You weren't put here to be sick. You weren't put here to live without, to live in doubt, to be in fear, confusion. I seriously do not believe that life was meant originally to be this hard. So what if I told you that all of these things are just things that you've learned, and then you believed them? They became your thoughts, your ongoing thoughts. They became your ongoing beliefs, and that they come from your stored memories. And they cause you to act the way that you do. So today I want to promise to show you a different way to look at the issues that face you, that you're having, the problems that you keep facing, that you keep feeling like you're just stuck. You're stuck in those places. From a physical and energetic aspect, I believe they are interrelated, they're interlinked, that you can use your own internal system to clear up the negative thoughts, beliefs, and memories that are holding you back. My name is Christy Mattoon, and 8 years ago, that was just like me. Life hit me hard. Heck, it started hard, and it left scars, left big scars. And I, like you, had tried everything. I tried therapy, different doctors, different protocols, diets, books, programs, techniques, practices, just trying to think differently, but nothing ever seemed to stick. It never seemed to work. Life was just not what I thought it was going to be. It was like a bad recipe. It felt like some ingredients were missing, and I just didn't really understand how to put it all together. And while your ingredients may be different, the outcome probably looks a little bit the same. I started going from doctor to doctor to understand my depression, my illnesses, all my issues, and how they related. Or did they? I shelled out big bucks trying different things, hoping to understand. I did 8 years of talk therapy that left me confused and angry with unresolved issues. Then I started seeing people that did things outside of the box, things like energy psychology protocols, and things that are sometimes considered way outside of the box. I kept thinking if Jesus was laying his hands on people and giving a command, why do we have to go through all of this rigmarole, right? After all, and I know I'm not Jesus, but he told us we were going to do greater things, and so I took that seriously. So in my quest, I learned from a shaman. I went to many different churches and prayer practitioners, prayer groups. I did many different certificate courses, including Reiki, certified personal trainer, shaman instruction, law of attraction, neurokinetic therapy, associative awareness technique, Ho'oponopono, LNP, Splunkna, PSYCH-K, comprehensive energy psychology is not on there, but I've gone through that. And they're all absolutely wonderful things. I learned a lot out of each different one of them. And the amount of money that I paid out to do all this stuff is still stifling to me. And I'm certified in some of the above protocols that I just mentioned. And like I said, they all do great things. They gave me a wealth of knowledge at the end of the day. But my head was still in the fight. There was still something I just couldn't put my finger on. Something that kept throwing me off and causing strife where there didn't need to be any. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have days like that? I wanted a way to combat the thoughts and issues when they would come up instantly, effectively, and permanently. Because life happens, life keeps happening, and so to have a way to actually work on these things as they come up would be huge. Something that I could use daily by myself and not have to rely on a facilitator or a therapist. I wanted this fixed so I could move on, and I wanted a way I could tackle issues as they came up in the moment. I got so super sick of this cycle, I decided to do it different. I really wanted to figure this out. I wanted to be on my God-given journey instead of feeling like I was always in a mudslide. It just happened, or I just happened to have this book laying in a pile in my side room. It had been there for quite a while, and I finally picked it up and read it one day. And literally I got so interested, it only took me a day. And some of you have probably read this. It's The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. It talked a lot about the science behind the functionality of the brain and the mind and body and the brain connection. It gave me a different way to think about my genetic traits and a way to start researching and thinking differently about life. After all the time spent in the classes, it became very clear that the things ailing me were issues that I had locked into my subconscious mind. And this was actually one of the things that the therapist taught me in that 8 years. It's one of the few things I got from him, was that not remembering my childhood was probably an issue. But we never got much further past that. There were past issues and memories that kept coming back to haunt me, basically, and I didn't even remember them. But I kept getting the consequences of whatever that was. Kept running myself in circles and just stalling me out. I didn't even know what was happening. I thought I had something seriously wrong with me. In fact, they told me I had something seriously wrong with me. When the whole time it was just subconscious clutter blocking me from life and keeping me in anxiety and fear. So from all of the things I've learned, I took a good look at the ones that I used the most and the ones that they were the most effective for my clients. And I came up with this program that I called Mind Rewire. Mind Rewire is just full of tools for subconscious change. It took the kinesiology and muscle testing and the brain science and put them together with an understanding and a protocol to clear locked-in trauma and patterns from old beliefs and memories, even the thoughts that you have that are destructive, the day-to-day stuff. It's quick, it's efficient and simple. Mind blown, there it was. I was so excited when I realized how easy this actually is. It's that easy to clear out the subconscious mind and get rid of the chatter and the clutter, whether you know what's messing with you, or even if it's things that you're not really aware of, you're just aware of the consequences. You know you're struggling, you know something's not right. What's the best way to go about this? So I finally had this protocol that did just what I kept talking about. I could do it myself. It was quick, it's easy, it's a few good balances, and I was doing better. I was doing better than better, and on a daily basis, it keeps getting even better. The trick was to never stop doing that. So it's a set of principles, or what is it? So let's talk about what Mind Rewire is for a second. It's a set of processes and principles designed to release subconscious beliefs that limit your life. In a nutshell, basically, it uses a muscle test. You get permission and commitment from your subconscious. It's a statement, a thought, a belief, or a memory. And then holding a pattern that'll put you in a whole brain state that allows the subconscious to release the issue, whatever it is that's got you stuck. It's a breathing practice. It's a practice we put in place that you do repetitively every day. It becomes part of your lifestyle, 2 to 5 minutes. And then step into tomorrow and just see what's different. That's the big kicker, is what happens differently tomorrow. And then it's the little alterations after that. It's powerful when your subconscious mind releases a stronghold from your life. It's a powerful thing to all of a sudden wake up one day and realize that that pain isn't there anymore, that torment isn't there anymore. It's very actually kind of bizarre when you wake up and you're not feeling that anymore. So Mind Rewire is a cool protocol. It's a cool strategy that I use with people. So what's missing from most protocols? Mind Rewire bridges the gap by turning the protocol into a strategy that you learn how to use for life. So it becomes a way of life. It becomes a principle that you use on a daily basis. Instead of someone performing a method on you, you become proficient and learn to do it yourself. So that you can take authority of your life, take authority of these things. This is just a very, very powerful way to live. Doesn't that sound awesome? Isn't that something you would want in your life? So let's talk a little bit about the mind and the brain. What is the brain? It's a processor of information. It stores information, it runs the physical body function. It has a ton of other functions, and some of them we really don't even know what exactly are, or what it does, how it works. When you learn how to use your physiology to engage the deep recesses of your mind and understand the task of daily movement and work on your own behalf, that'll create momentum that'll last you a lifetime, why wouldn't you want to do that for yourself? It blows my mind the people that stop in and say, no, that's too much work for me. And yet they're suffering and they're debilitated in the stuff that they're stuck in, and they're looking for a way out, but they're not willing to put in the time, the 5 to 10 minutes a day that it would take to keep this cleared out and tackle the daily stuff, the repetitive things that just come up in your life. So the brain is a storehouse, really, right? It's the driver of the machine underneath. It's the driver of your body. If the brain has information that's outdated or unusable, what happens in your life? It becomes a mess. Your brain's in cahoots with the conscious and subconscious mind. And either way, it's all a part of the electrical circuitry that somehow runs and regulates the physical body. Even the conscious and subconscious mind has control in regulating the physical body. If you end up with a lot of junk stuck in your subconscious mind, guess what happens to the physical body? Where the brain goes, the body follows. If the brain is in torture and torment, guess what's going to happen to your physical body? So within the brain, you create life. It's via the neuroplasticity. It's that neuron and protein connection. Every time you think a thought and you make one of those connections, you're creating that neuroplasticity. And here's the reality. Your conscious mind controls about 5% of your daily thinking activity. Did you know that? The other 95% is subconscious. It's stuff that you don't even know is going on. 95%. of your thinking activity, your daily thinking activity is actually subconscious. So you're running from programs that are locked in your subconscious mind from past things that you've seen, thought, heard, been through, that you've turned into memories and hold as beliefs about yourself, whether they're true or not at this point. If the subconscious thinking comes from trauma, from pain, from bad thoughts, beliefs, or memories of any kind, and 95% of your perception about the world comes from that, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And you're living it, so you can imagine. You create neuroplasticity to these thoughts, and then that's the world that you live in. So what's the difference? The difference is how you clear and or create in the system. Clearing is a huge part of it, getting that old subconscious chatter out of there, and then creating is, that's the cool thing. Once you get stuff stuck in your subconscious mind that you're actually creating the life that you want, and the good things, the good seeds that we're putting in actually turn into your go-to, that's the kicker right there. That's what we want. The difference between subconscious change and any other thing you've probably used, the traditional tools such as affirmations or mantras, talk therapy, positive thinking, willpower, reading self-help books, making vision boards, writing in journals, and visualization. And although all of those things are super cool and can do very good things in their own right, they're predominantly limited to the conscious mind. They work on the level of awareness. That's only 5% of your daily thinking. We want to get underneath that into the subconscious where that 95% lays down. And we want to lay down some really good seeds that turn into your go-tos for life instead of the junk that you got trapped with from whatever's happened to you. So the deal is, it's about repeated practice. While those other things can be helpful, they're seriously limited in their effectiveness. If the conscious mind processes were all that you needed to change the subconscious mind, you would already be doing and being all that you wanted to be. These are all great tools, like I said, but they take time and repetition. Like, you literally have to do it over and over and over. Thousands of times, I think, is what they say, to get something to stick into your mind when you're trying to clear negative input of the subconscious. So subconscious belief, according to the dictionary, the subconscious mind is the part of the mind of which one is not fully aware, but it influences your actions and feelings. Right? Subconscious belief is the things that you believe about yourself. You believe them to be true, whether they're actually true or not, and that's how you're acting out in your daily life. Those influences are there whether you realize it or not. And if you're in circumstances that are traumatic, or you live in constant drama, and you've never really thought about the underlying, that 95% of thinking, what's going on in your subconscious, it's an interesting thing to question yourself about. And that's part of becoming aware, right? When you become aware of those things in your subconscious. So from your mind to your brain, how thoughts are formed. Neuroplasticity is a protein and a neuron bond that's formed in your brain every time you think a thought. Every time you think that same thought, there's another bond created, and basically a chain is being formed. On a scan, it's described as looking like the branch of a tree, and that's from the work of Dr. Caroline Leaf. She's a I believe a neuropsychologist. Basically, what we call it is you're creating a loop. You've probably heard that before, that you've got a loop of negativity going on, right? So the negative's on the one side, it digs itself deeper and deeper, it's dark, it's inward, it's spiraling, and every time it plays in your mind, whatever that negative thing is, it just holds you captive. And how often do you go into that circle and just repeat that negative thing over and over and over? On the other side's the positive, and it's light, it's airy, right? The colors are easier to look at, and it digs itself deeper and deeper every time it plays in your mind. And it does the same thing, it holds you captive. The only problem is most of us don't stay there very long. We don't stay in those positive mindsets, those positive attitudes. Most people, for whatever reason, from the trauma of their childhood, the trauma of life, we just don't stay with the positive very long. And this is actually related back to the neurochemicals that are in your system. So we're keeping the negative neurochemicals at a higher level and keep those functioning in our bodies because of our thought processes longer than we do the positive stuff. So we want to work on switching that out. That's part of Mind Rewire. So how does this work in your brain? It's like a storage locker, right? It collects the information and it files it away for later use. Most of us are not filing things away. And the clutter's not getting cleaned out. The things are left out, and it's open, and it's in disarray, and it causes mayhem and chaos in your life. So we can just stop and take a breath here. This is my reminder to take a breath. So you take a breath with me. There you go. Relax for a second. So what does this do in your life? Can you look back through the course of your life? Do you see mayhem? Is there chaos, disorder, frustration? How about physical illness? So what your subconscious does is basically it reminds you of where you've been. It doesn't know time, so it doesn't base its judgments on age. If you're living through the lens of what happened when you were 5 years old or 2 years old and your brain doesn't realize that you're now 39, you may have some serious struggles going on. Does that make sense? Do any of you relate to that? But it's what happens when you think a thought and you create that neuroplasticity. They become your beliefs and memories, and then that affects the rest of your life. If it's not efficiently filed away or put away or taken apart, you can take apart the neuroplasticity actually as easily as you can put it together. If you're using the storage locker to access information and let that information drive reactions to the things you do in your life, you could find yourself in issues and struggles that seem senseless and frustrating and ongoing, right? That accessing the information, if the information that was in there was positive and something you could grab hold of to benefit you instead, how would you like that? Doesn't that sound awesome? So what's going on in your life right now that you can look at and say, I wish I would quit doing that? Why does this keep happening to me? Or how about, how does this happen? How does this even go on? I asked myself that quite a few times. Or you can't even stop doing it, whatever the it is. Even though you know it's bad, you fall back into that same trap. Have you ever wondered why that happens? What would happen if you cleaned out the storage locker? What would happen if you quit living by old precepts or memories or ideas or beliefs? What would happen if you could get rid of those negative thoughts and you could think a thought, but it wasn't one of the old ones? It was like a new aha kind of thought. It was one of those new moments, and you get this thought that doesn't even seem like it's part of your own brain, but it gives you some kind of crazy hyper fuel for momentum to move forward. Doesn't that sound awesome? Wouldn't that be cool? Are you even aware of what it is? Can you point it out? Do you know where it comes from in your history? Do you know the thoughts that aren't benefiting you? Do you know the beliefs that you have that make you struggle day to day? The things that you formed, the beliefs that you formed as a child and hold on to like they're truth, but in reality, it was just somebody else's mess and it's just a memory. It was just something that happened in your life, but it wasn't really you. Is that ringing a bell? Go ahead and take another deep breath. I know I need to. And a drink of water. So we are so hardwired, we don't believe that there is anything else we can do. How many programs have you tried? How many different things have you done? I can't tell you how many people I work with that are hypnosis doctors. How many people that I work with that have a psychology background. How many people that I work with that come from higher up places than I do as far as stature in life. And they're so hardwired into what they believe that they can't believe anything else will work. But they know they're stuck and their life isn't going the direction that they wanted it to. You're told also that this thing took a while to create and it'll take a while to undo, right? It's just the way life is. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. I don't think it took that long to create, first of all. Usually it's a snap in a moment of time. And all of a sudden you're locked into these ideas and thoughts, and you create these memories to that moment in time that just last you and mess you up forever. And I don't think it takes any longer to undo, if you want to know the truth. It might take a few tries at it, but I really don't think it takes that much longer to undo. You know, the good doc said, you've heard this before, that Rome wasn't made in a day. It took a while to build Rome. How fast, though, did it take to break it down? Tearing Rome apart was way quicker than it was building it, wasn't it? And I think the neuroplasticity works the same way. However long it took to put it there, to build it, it's way quicker to take it apart. Once we get it out of there, you can start seeding your mind with all kinds of cool stuff. Whatever it is that you're wanting in your life. All those mantras that you've hung on to forever, right? How many of us had those plastered all over our mirrors, or written on the mirror, written on the window? Right? That mantra, that really positive thing, and you said it over and over, but it never really stuck in your system. We're going to help you stick that in your system with Mind Rewire. We know how to do that now. So cleaning out the old patterns isn't as hard as we've been led to believe. You just need the strategy. You need a guide. And the practice comes by doing. And the new life you will get will be so worth it. Right? Cleaning out the patterns, that's the big deal. And you're going to go after it and you're going to get it done. Sometimes we assign blame. And unfortunately, most of the blame falls on ourselves. But here's a secret. It's not your fault. Your life is a mess because of thoughts and beliefs that are stuck in your subconscious mind, and you've had no idea. You get the consequences of it, and you got a mess to clean up probably, but it's not your fault. There's no fault here at all. Things just happen. Life was what it was. Life is what it is. And you get caught with this brain full of non-benefiting thoughts, beliefs, and memories, but there's no condemnation. So quit beating yourself up. But it's time to get up and decide to do something about it. So what you need to know is the negative thoughts, beliefs, and memories can be taken apart, right? That's the neuroplasticity. Once we start taking that apart and getting a bigger distance in between those synapses, things start to change easily. You either store it away or you get rid of it completely. New thoughts, beliefs, and patterns can be built, can be seeded into your subconscious mind that will benefit your life and the path that you want to be on. What I know now, this is from the road I came from, is that God gave you everything that you need to change. You have everything on board. It's all part of your physiology. You have everything there to heal your body and your mind. And it doesn't matter what you start with, the mind, the body, the spirit. The healing of one will affect the healing of the rest. So I took all the best parts of everything I've learned and I turned it into this strategy-based course that teaches you to use the physiology and energy of your body, the power of your brain, and the wisdom of the mind, the wisdom of God, right? Which is even separate, which is even a bigger wisdom. I've incorporated this into my new course called Mind Rewire to give you a strategy, a practice, a process, and a new mentality towards how life can work for you, with you, instead of against you. Remember, the goal is self-sufficiency. How do you clear your subconscious mind the quickest, most reliable way that gives you the longest lasting results? And be able to keep doing it. That's the strategy part here. It's not just a process or a protocol, it's a strategy that you learn and learn how to do repetitively, learn how to do it over. So it's easy. And you can use it whenever the need arises, because if you spend all your time just clearing up past junk and you don't realize that there's a lot of stuff to seed in that you want in your life, and that's really the fun stuff, right? You want to seed those things into your subconscious so it's the go-to, and you're having to run to a therapist or a facilitator every time you need that done. How cool would it be if you could do this yourself? What do you think? After doing this for 8 years, this is what I know, and that's Bruce Lee right there. He says, knowing is not enough, we must apply. You got to do it. Willing is not enough, we must do, right? You got to do the work. Your genes are not in control. We know that from epigenetics, we know that from the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton and quite a few other doctors at this point. If you don't take authority in your life, something else will. And if that something else is the 5-year-old that had a traumatic issue or fell off the slide or whatever the thing was, If that's what's taking authority in your life is the perspective of a child, right? What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? If we clean out the subconscious locker, you get to take authority of your life. If your subconscious mind has a stronghold in any area of your life, you're going to pay the consequences. And usually a stronghold is not viewed as a good thing. Usually that's a pretty bad thing, right? We don't want those negative strongholds. We want something positive and good in our lives. And here's the other thing that I know for sure after doing this for 8 years, it is easy to clear subconscious chatter. It's easy to clear out that storage locker. So, and just like my client Jessica, this is a text she sent me. She was saying, you're welcome for something. I'm not sure what that was. And she says, you're more than just a personal trainer. So right now, and I actually work with her now, I still do personal training on the side a little bit. You're more than just a personal trainer and a healer to me. Thank you so much for helping me get through this and helping me see the progress I've made in such a very short time. So she went from being, she got mashed in a couple of really good accidents actually and had some pretty bad physical stuff going on. And we didn't clear most of it by doing physical activity. We cleared most of it by getting rid of the subconscious trauma from the accidents. And I typed her back and I said, you're amazing. And she said, because you're teaching me, I can be so. And she already was amazing, right? It just got locked underneath the trauma. So it's bringing that back out, getting rid of the effects of the trauma on a cellular level and getting her help moving forward. So I want to tell you, I discovered this the hard way, and you get to cheat and do it the easy way. I don't want you to have to go down the road I went through. Because here's the hard way. You have to learn how to meditate. You have to sit in a therapist's office for years that you'll know real results. And I'm not against therapists. There are some good ones out there. I actually know some really good ones that gave me some good benefit. After my initial experience, I found some pretty decent ones. The hard way is also many different doctors addressing many different illnesses, and I ended up with quite the handful. Learning numerous protocols that I paid big bucks to learn how to do, and I was trying to learn how to do what the doctors kept telling me they would do for me, which was put an end to my issues to let me get on with my life, but it never really seemed to happen. But I want you to have the easy way. The easy way that doesn't require you to wait for months or even years out of your life, or spend the money that I did. In the past 8, and I put years in parentheses, and I'll explain why in a second, in the past 8 months, I've totally rewired my thinking. So this project started over 8 years ago. When I was at 300 pounds and probably was the sickest I've ever been in my life. But in the last 8 months, and it's actually been longer than that at this point, I haven't been to a doctor or taken a pill or worried and let my thoughts take over a day since. And do I get worried? Sure, I get worried. Things will come up and I'll think about it for a few seconds, but with this balance procedure, that happens less and less and less. And if it starts to take over, I seriously just throw it into a balance and move it on. Because once you realize that's how easy it is to do, eventually you won't even have to do it with a balance because you've trained your brain to work in that way instead of the old way that it was trained to work, going into fight and flight and staying in those negative reactions and staying in what's called an amygdala hijack. Once we can pull you up out of that and keep you floating above it into the higher levels of chemicals in your system, the oxytocin, the dopamine, and the serotonin kind of stuff, that's where it's at, guys. That's where it's at. So I want to tell you the results here are not typical, so this is my little disclaimer. I'll walk you through scientific protocols and ideas that have been more empowering and useful than anything else I've ever seen or done before. But my results are not typical. Most of my clients' results are not typical, even though all of my clients have typically the same results. I put into practice a daily regime that allows great benefit. However, most people will not allow themselves to follow this. They won't allow themselves to do it. But it's what's worked for me and my clients. But it's not a magic pill, and it's not a wand full of fairy dust. We are activating the physiological principles and workings of your body and getting it back up to the point that it needs to be so that it can do what it needs to do on a physiological level, and then you can do what you want to do inside your life. So my 8-week course is called Mind Rewire. and it incorporates the use of the quickest, most effective, long-lasting protocol I've ever used. It uses the nature of the brain to build and take apart neuroplasticity. It's online, so it's an online course that you get to easily access whenever you want to. With the use of muscle testing, so I teach you muscle testing, we can open up a line of communication, which is a simple way to allow the body and the subconscious mind to respond to each other and to ideas. But I want you to know that a muscle test is not necessarily a fact. It's a response of the electrochemical circuitry, and some say the subconscious mind. I say more the whole brain in general, depending on what you're using it for, because we can use muscle testing for a whole host of different things. Either way, we are human and the subconscious is fallible. If it's a subconscious mind that's responding when a muscle goes weak, and the subconscious, while being a remarkable data center, is not a good judgment center, right? But we're not going after it for judgment. We're going after it to clear out some of the data that's been backlogged and is hanging in there that you don't need anymore. So we're not looking for the subconscious mind to give you a good judgment. We're looking at it to help us clear out the data. It doesn't remotely have all divine wisdom. Like some people think you tap into your subconscious mind, you're going to get wisdom. That's not where wisdom is. Okay? Data and wisdom are not the same thing. I need you to know that. The subconscious operates out of a very fear-based, almost infantile judgment and cannot be looked at as the source of all answers. Its strength is that it catalogs with great efficiency, I might add, one's life experiences like a hard drive. So it's got it all locked up in there, and if something's locked up in there that isn't working for you as an adult, that's the stuff we're looking for. Its data is exhaustive about one's own experiences. The emotions that got stored in the body from trauma and how they are fueling symptoms is part of what we're trying to access here. And it seems you must get through quite a bit of fear and resistance on the way. So a lot of times there's resistance and fear for people letting go of these things. And that's another thing that we have to clear out of the way. We have to get through that in order to actually get to the subconscious stuff to get rid of it, which is why a lot of times mantras, vision boards, like they're feel good in the moment, they get your oxytocin and your serotonin and those good chemicals up and make you feel good for a little bit, but it doesn't really ever stick. Does that make sense? All right. So with all of its weaknesses understood, it remains a useful tool in accessing subconscious trauma and relieving emotional symptoms, okay? But the proof is always in the fruit of the work, not in the muscle test. So at the end of the day, it's what's going on. And at the beginning of the next day, it's what's going on. Step out into your day and see what's changed after you've done a balance. You learn to become so super aware of what's going on around you, and life starts to get so colorful and fun because you are so aware that you will notice the second your brain starts going south, you can put a balance on it, and then it's always like watching and seeing how you're going to react and act differently. It's almost as if you're standing inside yourself, actually operating your physical body and your mentality, instead of it just happening by default. You all of a sudden get to take control and be an authority of this machine. How cool is that? I'm so excited about this. Okay, so part of Mind Rewire is teaching you to efficiently trust yourself and your body to muscle test or feel for responses to clear and balance life issues that happen as they arise and need addressed. Okay, so that's part of what we learn. There's many energy psychology protocols on the market that engage the body-mind work and use awareness and kinesiology or muscle testing to clear patterns that are stuck in the subconscious mind. But many of them don't go to the extent, they're not a strategy like Mind Rewire is. So this was just a quick note from my client Cheryl, and she was just saying, thank you so much for this course and the live meeting the other night. So she got on one of our live calls. She said, I'm going over my thoughts and my notes, and I still can't get over how much you have to say and what you're guiding here. So at the point she wrote this, I think she had just gotten through the muscle testing and how we're doing some of it and feeling inside of the body for the responses of the chemical shifting in your system and how you can actually feel that when you pay attention. Then she goes on to say, nor can I even imagine the amount of work it took to put this together. And that was my pleasure. That was my pleasure. It gave me great pleasure and lifted my chemicals to great lengths to do this. So now what I have to own up to is some of the questions I've uncovered. So now she's uncovering some of this subconscious chatter along with taking a stance in a higher place. So she's realizing that it's her stance that she's taken that puts her in the place she's in. Until next time, I'm sending my gratitude to you. I accept that, I accept that, I accept that, I receive it. Right? So that was Cheryl. So I tried to keep this simple and effective with tools for you to keep progressing with on your journey. Even after the course is over, after you've gone through all the material, you'll be able to keep progressing with this material. It took me going to all of the doctors, all of the visits, all the hardships, all the medications, had a number of surgeries in between there, the pain, the fighting for myself, for the path of freedom to bring Mind Rewire to you. Even at the stage that you're at, because you've gone through the hardships, you've done the doctor's visits, you're probably on the medications, you're in pain, you're fighting. Let's get you onto that path of freedom too. What do you say? So even though you're stuck and struggling, it'll bring a freedom for you to get on with your life, right? Quicker, without the thousands of dollars and the time and aggravation that it took me. I want to present this to you. I've gotten to a place where I no longer have to search for a thing to fix me. I can enjoy my life and the people around me now. I couldn't do that for the longest time, and I never really got why. And I also don't need somebody to fix this thing, because if something goes awry, if I have an issue, I've got enough of a stable group of people around me that can do the like things that I do, that we can work within each other and within the walls that we have set up, the parameters that we've set up. And if I have an issue in the moment, I know how to balance it. I know what to do for it. I know how to take care of that thing. So I have a sense of peace and joy that I probably never had in my life ever before. My energy levels are better than ever. There's no worry, no panic. I don't know the last time I actually had a panic attack. I do worry once in a while, but not nearly to the extent that I used to. I just set a pace that I get to go from day to day. So just like my client Emily, she texted me the other day and said, I've had a lot of work on me this week. And meaning her job. She does a pretty stressful job. It's telemarketing, so it's pretty stressful. And I don't think it's marketing. I think I'm not sure what she's doing, but it's something on the phone. It's pretty stressful. Trying to be in the moment, in the second, in every hour, and every minute. And using your tips, including eating right and balancing for positive things, being positive even when I mess up or can't seem to do something. I can't thank you enough for all that you've shown me to do and your guidance. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Emily's just a beautiful person, and so this really just made me kind of tear up when I read it. So I'm so blessed to be able to work with her. And just like my client Nicole, despite having gone through significant traumahood in child and as an early adult, she said she rarely sought professional help. And after many tries and never finding a good fit, it started to seem useless. Her sister actually got in touch with me and she agreed because it was a gift. So her sister got that for her and she trusted her sister. And after only 2 sessions, she says she can honestly say, I feel like a major change has occurred. I also feel better equipped when triggered than maybe I ever have. Christy is someone I instantly trusted and felt comfortable with, and in my opinion is half the battle in getting help from somebody. I highly recommend Christy Mattoon to anyone serious about making a positive change in their life. Right? So that was from Noelle. And just very cool, right? That how quick, 2 sessions, and she's been working on this her whole life. Right? And she's in her mid-40s. So programs that offer solutions like this typically require you to travel to an expensive hotel or resort, right? How many of you done that? I have a ton of people who have come in and said, I've done this thing, I've gone and seen this guy, like the big gurus, right? And you could start naming names and I'd be like, yeah, that one. And they would walk away and be like, I got out of the atmosphere and none of the results stuck, right? And it can be an awesome, awesome experience, but it's so expensive. And then to walk away and realize that whatever it was you thought you were getting out of it was just like a fleeting feeling, a fleeting thought, and it didn't stick for you. So it's cost prohibitive for something that's so necessary in our world. And the fact that it's not sticking with people is really rough. And I know they help tons and tons and tons of people, but they'll have thousands of people packing these auditoriums. How many people walk out of there without? How many people? This program actually gives you something solid, tangible that you take home and do every day. So those programs themselves can run thousands of dollars, anywhere from 5 to 10, 25,000 and more. And if you're struggling, that can be tough on a good day and impossible on a bad one. So what do you want? And here was my answer to that. Simply clear out my subconscious thoughts and let me gain conscious freedom. That's all I want. That's not so much to ask, is it? I don't think so. And now I have a plan for you. So just like my client, this is another Cheryl, she called me because of the effects on her health from a long-time habit of smoking. Her concerns of her health were real at 72 years old. And with Mind Rewire balances and changing her perception about her life events, at our last meeting, she was still smoking some, but the pressure and fear to stop was gone. It was released, and she felt like she was moving forward and was benefiting and being able to fulfill her life dreams. She actually moved from one big city that she was scared to leave, but she hated living in, and she moved to another place. And I don't know, what a cool thing, right? My point with this one is, don't let yourself get to 72 years old before you figure out you want to change, or you figure out that you can change. Don't let it go on that long. So let me tell you a little bit more about Mind Rewire. It's an 8-week intensive course that you can utilize and benefit from in a number of ways. I broke it apart to make it work for anybody. I want you to understand the use of water in your system. We talk about hydration from a physical and energetic standpoint, right? Water is God's. It's a river flowing. Use it well. And most people are dehydrated. Why do we do that to ourselves? Right? Why do we do that? We talk about that. We're going to go into that. I'm going to help you implement a practice to make sure you stay hydrated, because honestly, when you stay hydrated, the chemicals in your system will change and you'll get better regulation. And then the balances are easier. So it all goes hand in hand in hand. Included in this course is the importance of vital oxygen and breathing techniques that I use. Without breath, there is no life. Just like water, very, very important to your system. Breath can actually reset body parts. It can reset muscle parts, the use of your diaphragm. If you use it properly, it can also reset neurochemicals in your system. It's very, very interesting, the things that can change when you start a practice of breathing. Included in this course is a module on awareness. Just making sure you've been listening, right? Everybody's talking about it. Awareness, that was supposed to be a joke, right? So we're going to talk about awareness. We're going to talk about the soul and how it interacts with the spirit. So we're going to get, from the physicality part of it. And I think the energetic is included in your physicality. That's part of what's locked in your cells. It's part of how the cells, it is how the cells operate, is from that energetic standpoint. But what is the spirit? What is the soul? How do they differentiate? How are they the same? How do they operate inside your system? So included in this course is muscle testing one-on-one. You're going to learn how to muscle test. Self-testing, learn the language of your body. You're going to be able to feel the chemicals rise and fall inside your system, right? It can take a little bit of work for some. It depends on how locked out you are of your own body, but we're going to get you there. You're going to learn testing on another person if you want to do that, or if you need to do that within your own practice. And then you're going to get comfortable. I want you to get to the point where you're comfortable in getting reliable results, right? So we're going to do some work on that so that you're feeling good with it. We're going to talk about neuroplasticity, more about that, how it's formed, what it is, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind. It's a basic understanding of the science behind all this, the epigenetics, how your genes and your mentality towards that, what you've been told, even what the doctors have told you and how that sticks inside your head. We're going to go through all that kind of stuff. It's step-by-step instructions on how to break down the neuroplasticity and then build new, and we call that seeding. Right? So there's a whole course or a whole module in here on seeding the mind. And this is the purpose of doing a balance, or it's a process, the purpose and the process of doing a balance, right? So it gets it in there a little bit quicker and we get it done. Included in this course is the importance that a clean diet plays in healing your mind. If you don't eat well, you won't be well. Some of the things I think that are locking us out of our true purpose, and some of the things that I feel like are locking us into subconscious thought that are like making those little events stick in us so hard that it becomes a traumatic experience, is all the chemicals in our diet. This is all interwoven and you can't separate it out and think that you're going to make it through it. We got to take all of it apart, right? Piece by piece, or however you want to look at it. Get the system clean from top to bottom, and it'll blow your mind what will happen after that. So I also have included in here a guided waterfall meditation. It's something that helps ground you and kind of hold you together. It grounds you, it clears your system. It is a meditation, it's a visualization kind of thing, but it's specifically geared for this course at the very beginning of it. It helps you get the system started and ready to go. And then you can use it throughout and then whenever you want to after that. And there's just, I can't even name it all, much more. So this is 8 weeks of intensive coursework and instruction to get you on a road to conquer your limiting beliefs and thoughts. It's weekly content to give you meat to chew on and information to put into action and help you gain ground and a new perspective about how powerful you really are. And you hear people say that all the time. Do you know how powerful you are? And you just kind of stop and look at it. And we've heard it so many times at this point, it's like, yeah, whatever. Once the system is clean and it's working properly, I think you'll blow your own mind. It's really crazy the stuff that you figure out all of a sudden your system can do and how to operate it from a physiological standpoint. It gets super interesting. So ask yourself this question: how much freedom do you need? How much freedom do you want? Do you want to be free from your mental clutter? Do you want to be free from the fights that you have inside your head and never win? Do you want to be free from the voices that are calling you names? Do you want to be free from the voice that tells you you can't, you won't, you're not good enough, you won't heal, you need to wait, your time will never come? How much freedom do you need? So imagine driving to work and enjoying the drive. Take a deep breath on that one. Can you imagine that? Or are you one of those that drives to work with your shoulders up in your ears? Right? Imagine moving on to a project because you've completed the one before it. Imagine moving on to a project and completing it, period. For some of us, it's just enough imagining waking up feeling good. Can you imagine that? Think about that for a second. Included in this course is a Facebook group, of course. Everybody's got one of those to talk and motivate each other. We do live group calls twice a week to learn, ask questions, gain understandings about muscle testing, subconscious mind, whole brain states, anything you've got questions on. We can do balances live on the phone. That gets really super fun. You can piggyback on other people's balances. That's really super fun. Plus all the course material that I just now went through. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you were able to go to sleep and not replay the day? When was the last time that you laid down and your brain wasn't going crazy? When was the last time you were able to sit down and enjoy yourself without mental abuse, guilt, shame, anger, or triggering something else in your system? This is about change and self-sufficiency. Let me ask you a quick question. In the past hour, we've gone through a lot. Wouldn't you agree it's been time well spent so far? But old habits die hard. We know how this goes. If you get off here now and don't act, don't do something, you probably won't do anything. I've done it before. I know other people that have done it before. I know people that have started courses and walked away from them, right? For different reasons, for a lot of different reasons. But if you don't start somewhere, you won't start. If you do start, you're going to be thrilled. I have so much information packed into these 8 weeks, it'll probably leave you spinning. My guess is I'm going to start leaving it open longer than the 8 weeks, just so people can go back in and kind of sift through it, because some of the material, the way I have it plotted out, folks are taking a little bit longer to get through, and that's totally fine. It's totally fine. Some of it's a lot to digest, and I really want you to be able to digest all of it. So I want to ask for your permission, first of all, to present Mind Rewire to you as a package form. And I want to be able to show you this in a structure in a way that it'll make sense about how it's going to work. So what you're going to get is Muscle Testing 101. I don't know why that's going out of order, but Great Beginnings is where it actually starts. So we go through a course with all functional foundational information that you start utilizing and putting right into practice right on that first module. Muscle 2 is muscle testing, and that's how we gain access to the subconscious and to the trauma that's locked into cells. Number 3 is writing clear, strong statements, and that's what we end up using for seeding the subconscious mind. Number 4 is a balance procedure. This is module 4. That's the balance procedure itself. That is the way when we get into the whole meat of the thing, this is the big deal right there, is that balance procedure. But you can't really get there unless you've got the foundational stuff above you and you've got the muscle testing down. So we have to do those things first. Number 5 is a module on the brain. So it's the neuroscience, the epigenetics, and a quantum leap into what you can do with this information, because it'll take you way farther than you have any idea. I have all of this valued at $46.50 is what that adds up to. So let me tell you who this has worked for. It works for anybody who has a subconscious mind and is willing and open and wants to do the work to change. This has worked for anyone who is curious enough to try something that might be a little bit outside of the box. It's worked for people who are tired of looking to the outside for someone else to solve their issues. So this is about being in a whole brain state and then how to utilize that to specific subjects, specific trauma, specific issues. So basically, this is kind of how I looked at this. I had 2 choices. My first option was to go cheap and just throw this together, but it's taken me a couple of years to get all of this together so that I could just sell it and sell as many as possible. But the more I thought about that, it really didn't give me a reason or great purpose in stacking the value for you. My second option required a little bit higher of an investment from me and from you, but in exchange I devote more resources to guarantee your success, and that's the big deal here, is your success. If you don't succeed, the world misses out on your gift. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. If you can't get underneath and pull out the junk that's happening around you and become the real you, we miss out on your gift, and I don't want that to happen. So here's why you need a coach. And I'm the coach, right? My name's Christy Mattoon. I'm the founder and the creator of Mind Rewire. I'm the co-creator of myself. How's that? So imagine there is something you want in your life, something that you'd like to create or achieve to bring into your life. This is why you need a coach. A coach supports you to give you ideas and information. A coach gives you actions to take and helps you troubleshoot. And a coach helps you get to the results that you're wanting. So we figure out what the result it is you're wanting, and then we start working towards getting there. Okay, so that's what my job is to hold you responsible. My job is to stand here and say, hey, where are you at? What are we doing? Okay, so I want to keep you in alignment with what your commitment is here. So how is this different? I teach you how to clear the subconscious mind. I teach you how to do it. I want you to know how to do it. I want you to put it into practice. I want you to get on calls with me and practice doing it so that you can feel it and really see how it works. To take authority of your life, authority of your surroundings, authority of what you want for yourself. I give you the tools to be able to keep doing it so it becomes a practice that you do every day, that you do every time the need arises. Again, here's what you get is Great Beginnings plus the bonuses, and that's the functional foundations area. You get muscle testing. We're going to learn how to do that. That's a mechanism to get to the access of the subconscious. You're going to learn how to write those strong, clear statements that we can use for seeds. The balance procedure. We're going to do the brain, the neuroscience, the epigenetics, and a quantum leap. And there is many more. There's actually 3 more modules underneath that I don't even have listed here. And they're all mostly a bonus kind of thing. So here's one of the bonuses is oxygen and water. And those are 2 separate lessons And actually it's 3 separate lessons. And I value this at about $99 just because I didn't really know how else to value it. But this bonus is for the first 30 people. Okay, so if you want this bonus, jump in here because that water and oxygen thing is a key to getting your system to unlock. You need this information. Bonus number 2 is my waterfall visualization. It's that meditation I was talking about. And this is for the first 20 people. So if you want to act fast. I want you to get in here. Okay? This is my friend Emily. I read you a little bit about her story earlier. And I've known Emily, I've been working with Emily for a super, super long time. And that's actually her running through a field and jumping in the air. So that's literally Emily. I love that. That's a great picture. And I just wanted to show you that. That's how happy she is. So here's what you're going to get. Let's go through this one more time. It's Great Beginnings is Module 1. Module 2 is Muscle Testing. Module 3 is Writing Strong, Clear Statements. Module 4 is the Balance Procedure. Module 5 is the Brain, the Neuroscience and Epigenetics. You get bonus number 1 is Water and Oxygen, the Functional Foundations area. Bonus number 2 is the Waterfall Meditation at a total value of $4,808. That's a funny number. So what if all this did? What if all it did was stop a racing mind? Would that be worth it? Do you have a racing mind? What do you think? What if all this did was help you feel good about yourself? Would that be worth it? How about if it would motivate you to be able to get onto your path, onto whatever it is, your purpose in life? Would that be worth it? What is freedom worth? What would it be worth? 5K, 10K, 25K? More? How much have you already paid out? How much would you pay to get change, to release blocks, to get rid of disease patterns that are held in your mind, and they become self-sufficient at doing this for yourself all the time? How much would that be worth to you? Can you see why others are paying me what they do? And I've had clients that have held in there for a very, very long time. As life issues arise, I still do private sessions once in a while, and so those guys are hanging on to those slots, right? But paying for not only my time, but for information about how to make the system run more smoothly. So one more time, what you're going to get is Muscle Testing 101, the Brain, Writing Strong, Clear Statements, the Balance Procedures, the bonuses of Water and Oxygen, the bonus of the Waterfall Clearing Visualization. So if you were to use a program like Mind Rewire, then you would have all of the information you need to take your life back. How does that sound? Almost too good to be true, doesn't it? But it requires your effort and your work and your input, right, on a daily basis. It's that building that practice and utilizing the strategy. But can you see why it's a good deal at $5,000 if that's what it was costing? So what I usually sell this for is $1,500 for the general public. But because you're special and you joined me on this webinar, and I truly appreciate your time and your patience through all of this, because you did that, I know that you're ready to do this differently. That this is something you really want, or you wouldn't have sat here this long. So I'm going to throw in another bonus. This is bonus number 3, and I talked about this a little bit earlier about toxic load in food. If you're eating poison, you're locking yourself out of your system in more than one way. More than just in the neurochemicals and the hormones, you're also creating imbalance and creating illness in your system. So this is a whole nother area that I have that I'm going to throw in for the first 10 people who sign up today off of this webinar. So now what you're going to get is a muscle testing, the brain, writing clear, strong statements, the balance procedure. You get all of the fundamental stuff, the water and oxygen bonus, the waterfall clearing, and bonus number 3 is this toxic load in food. And I've taught nutrition, I've taught health for a long time, inside the gym, outside of the gym. I've done private sessions, I've done sessions with clients that I worked out with. And I've charged way more than $999 for all the information that I put into that. It's about a 5 hour, if we did it in a day, it'd be about a 5 to 6 hour course I break it down usually for people, and I do it, hour to hour. It's usually about 5 to 6 sessions long, to walk them through cleaning out a kitchen, getting their food in alignment, getting their mind surrounded around eating differently and getting out of the chemicals. And then how do you clear the toxic load that's built up in your system? How do you get that out of your system on a physical level, right? So that's all locked into that. So you can get started now today for just $549. Right? All of this information you get for $549. I want you to click that button below, and actually you can't click it, so you're going to have to either copy it and paste it or type it into your browser. And go on over to the order page. Get in on this deal before time runs out, because I cannot leave it this low priced for very long. So get started now. Again, that $549 today. You're going to go to mindrewire.com/order. And it's going to pull up that page for you. Let me go through it one more time. Here's what you're going to get. The muscle testing 101. You're going to learn how to feel your body. You're going to get the great beginnings. The whole protocol the whole module with all the functional foundation stuff. The brain, the science, the epigenetics. We're going to talk about all of that, why this works the way it does, the neurochemicals, writing a strong, clear statement, the balance procedures. You get bonus number 1, the water and oxygen area, about why that's so important, how to use it the most effectively. Bonus number 2 is a waterfall clearing visualization, and bonus number 3 is about toxic load in food and how to clear the toxic load out of your body. So you have 2 choices. First option is to do nothing, and that is absolutely a choice that you can make. Do not take this leap of faith. It is 100% risk-free to not do anything. Okay, that is absolutely a choice, and I will honor that. Your second option is to make a decision now to do something radical inside your own life. Compared to all of the value that you'll get in return, why don't you just give it a shot? I guarantee you it'll blow your mind. If it works, great. If not, show me that you've applied some of the beginning material by showing me some of the work you've done, because there is work to do, and it is work that you can physically show somebody, and I'll just give you your money back if it is absolutely not for you. Okay? So it's a 15-day guarantee. The first 15 days is going to get you it'll get you into module 4. If you don't like it for any reason, just let me know and I'll give you your money back. After you've finished, or after you've gone through the first 15 days of the course, and you can show me the work that you've done. I just want to know that you've tried your hardest. It is up to me as a coach to hold you accountable to your commitment. Your commitment is to pay me the money that will get you into the course, and my commitment is to deliver the course and help you get moving forward. So if I don't hold you accountable to that, I'm failing as a coach, and I don't like that. So I want you to get in here and dig in as hard as you can. The real question is it worth gambling a few more minutes of your life to not check this out? If you've tried other things and you're struggling in all of it, because I guarantee you all of the experiences you've already have will be able to use, right, and utilize within this course, even experiences of other protocols. All the information that you have is useful. We just have to use it, and we have to put it into action and get it into work and get your subconscious mind cleared out so that you actually can use it. All right? So if this program even does half of what I've claimed today on this webinar, it'll pay for itself for you 100-fold by not having to be on medication, going to all the doctors, seeing all the practitioners, right? Over and over and over, all of those different things. All right, so here's a few commonly asked questions. Will this work on anything? Barring mental health problems, all right, like serious mental health dysfunction. If it's a subconscious mind or a stuck energy problem, it will definitely help. All right, and I just have to throw that out there about the mental health problems because it's legality. How long does it take to work? The program itself is 8 weeks. We know that it takes 21 to 30 days to create a habit, and that's how long it actually takes to grow neuroplasticity. We have that on film. We know that that's how long it takes. One balance typically takes up to 5 minutes. Once we're through the functional foundation stuff and into the arena of balancing, it takes as long as you are willing to put in the time. How long does it take? How long do you want it to take? How fast do you want to do it? How fast do you want to dig through it? So a lot of people ask if I still do private practice. I do. I've got a few slots here and there. They are definitely high commodity, and they are definitely on the short side because I don't do that a ton anymore, but I do have a few open. If you want to be one-on-one, the price is definitely different to have my undivided attention, but we can get on a call and discuss if that's right for you. And to get one of those phone calls, you have to shoot me an email at Christy@mindrewire.com. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that, then you have to have one-on-one sessions, and you would give me a shout out there, and I would shoot you information to book a session to get on a phone call. Okay, so that's Christy@mindrewire.com for private sessions, and you can do the private sessions on top of the course. They actually work super, super good hand in hand together. So other programs can make you feel better, for sure, absolutely. But with this, you get total change because you get total control. You're in the driver's seat, not a practitioner. You learn how to do it so that you can take it over. So here's a tale of two people. On the one side, you've got a 300-pound young lady with a smile plastered to her face. And I don't know if you can feel how fake it is, but that smile was always plastered there. And then you've got this young lady with I think it's 50-pound strapped to her back doing dips. And that young lady is actually me. Both of those are me. That was at my highest weight. I felt the worst I've ever felt in my life. I had no clue what was going on. The confusion was absolutely amazing. And then there's me at probably less than half that weight with a ton of muscle mass, and I was super, super strong and got very, very confident. Right? Big differences. Big, big, big differences. So let me just go ahead and show you what to do next. When you go ahead and paste that into your browser, it'll take you to a page that looks a little bit like this. And on that page, you're going to see a place to put your name, address, your number, and then go to step 2, and that's where you put in your account information. And so that way it keeps everything nice and private, and it sends it right over to my financial thing there. You'll see this page, and then you can choose what you want to do. The price is $549. Billed in one payment. I don't even know that the $247 thing is even on there anymore, but $549 billed in one payment will definitely be on there. And what I just want to tell you is I'm really nothing special. I figured a lot of stuff out. I don't doubt, I don't question, I don't second guess myself. I talk to God a lot. I listen, I pray, I sit, I meditate, I think on scripture. I work through things, continually asking the Holy Spirit for guidance. So you need to know that about me. I do not throw my religion in your face, and it's not even religion. It's just a practice that I have with God. We just have a good relationship. And, you know, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that too. My goal for this is to get you to a place where you're clearing subconscious chatter. It's the way the system was made, that it's supposed to clear itself out, and we broke the system by eating all the chemicals and treating each other awfully. Right? Treating each other harshly. We broke the system. So here's how we can start to fix the system. So like I said, I'm nothing special. I work at this every day, just like you're going to start doing. I work at this every day. I do my balances. I do my prayer work. I check in with myself. I'm always checking my energy. I'm always checking to make sure I'm, you know, what I need to be. And every day since I've started, it's just gotten better and better and better and better. So let me go through it one more time for those of you who are still sitting here. We're going to do muscle testing one-on-one. We talk about the brain and all the science behind it. We're going to write those clear, strong statements, a balance procedure. The bonus number 1 is water and oxygen. You get a really super functional, foundational understanding of that. Bonus number 2 is a waterfall, clearing and visualization. Bonus number 3 is about toxic load in food. Which if you're eating toxic food, this is going to derail it. If you're dehydrated, it's going to derail it. If you're not breathing properly, it will derail your life. So these are important, functional, foundational pieces, right? The first people to respond, yes, right now, let's raise your oxytocin. You want to feel how this works? Take a nice deep breath. Big inhale in. Fill your lungs and then slowly release it. And then we're going to take another inhale, big inhale. And then slowly release it. And as you release it, I want you to let your breath calm. Put your tongue right behind the top teeth, right in the roof of your mouth. You're going to gently lay your tongue there and just keep inhaling and exhaling. And as you keep doing that, I want your inhale to come in about 3 or 4 seconds, and then your exhale to be just a little bit longer. Let your exhale linger for half a second, and then inhale and do that again. Now I want you to think of a thought, think of a time. So we are accessing a memory, a time that was really super happy in your life. Something that when you think of it, you're just like, oh man, that was great. Find that place. Stay in your breath, nice inhale, a little bit deeper on the exhale. And feel that memory, feel that space and time. Let it get brighter and brighter and bigger, and just notice how you're feeling. How are you feeling right now thinking about that memory versus how you were thinking 3 minutes ago when I was yelling numbers and what this course is all about in your ear? How do you feel when you think about those positive, that happy memory? That's oxytocin raising in your system. Right? If you got that little bump, that's how quick it can happen. Okay? See how long you can hold on to it. That'll be the game right now. See how long you can hold on to that. So I want you to get started now. So even through the hard stuff, right? So now we're back to this price. Hold on to your happy memory. I want you to get started now for just $549. It's my gift to you, not $1,500, $549. So you're going to go to the mindrewire.com/order, sign up today. Holding on to your happy memory, right? My website is mindrewire.com. You can go there and check some of that out. I just want you to reclaim your life. I know what it meant for me to be able to reclaim mine. It's about change and self-sufficiency. When you realize how easy this all is, even in hard situations, finding joy, and that's a biblical principle. How do you stay in a good headspace, even in a hard situation? I want you, and humanity needs you to be able to move out of your own way and release the junk to get onto your path. Yeah, I want you, and humanity needs you. How's that feel? So some hidden benefits to this are freedom, growth, happiness, laughter, being able to feel good. You feel so much better. Sometimes there's other things you don't expect, and I can tell you weird stories. I had a balance done years ago, actually. Somebody else did this with me, and it was, she called it a mama drama balance, which I thought was funny, and at the time I really didn't know what to expect. She was just practicing her craft at the time, so this was a different thing than Mind Rewire, but it all works the same at the end of the day if you know how to utilize it right. And she had me think about all the drama with my mother, which was interesting because I didn't realize there was so much of it that I didn't know. But even just going there, touching on it, it got into the subconscious stuff. She did her little balance, the way that worked, the protocol she was doing. And I felt different in the second it was, I was like, oh, wow. Like I go back to think about the issues with my mom, and they weren't as big. I couldn't find as many of the thoughts as I could before. And the difference was in the next day. The difference was when I woke up and I couldn't figure out what on earth was different. But something was so radically different. I was just like, whoa, what the heck is going on? Like I knew something was different, but I couldn't figure it out. And then we were watching TV in the afternoon and a commercial came on for a casino. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, no way. So I used to go to bed every night with casino bells and whistles in my head. The noises, the lights, the smell, right? Have you ever been in a casino? It's noisy, it's lit up, the lights are crazy, I don't even know, it smells funky. So day in, I'd go to bed at night, it's in my head, I was a freaking addict. It was awful, awful, awful. I wake up in the morning, same thing, have those noises, and it wasn't that we went there a ton, but when we did go there, yeah, I was a hound, I don't even know. So anyway, she did this mama drama balance. Guess what went away? My gambling addiction was gone. Less than 24 hours. The lights were gone. I could go to sleep without hearing it, without seeing it. I would wake up in the morning without it. I could see commercials on TV and it wouldn't even faze me. I could have cared less after that. One balance, that's called the linchpin model. When you get underneath it all and pull that linchpin, it's crazy the stuff that changes. I would have never thought that my gambling addiction was attached to anything with my mother. And to this day, I do not know why. I do not know why. So sometimes you get things you don't expect. So no matter what, choose life, right? Choose life, choose life. And that means living. That means living inside of a life that you want. 8 weeks to change your subconscious, negatively driven thoughts, beliefs, and memories. Seal in a process. Build a simple, effective practice that's easy and doable, and you will yield more positive, permanent results than anything you have ever done before. Anything you've ever done before. This is Mind Rewire. It's about the mind, the brain, the subconscious change, your neuroplasticity. We're using your physiology, and it frees up your spirit. How's that sound? It's absolutely the coolest thing I've ever done for myself. Like I said, choose life. It's all about your life. It's about the change and self-sufficiency. One more time. If you're ready to dive in head first and want to reclaim your life, the Master Movement program might be for you. And that's more where you're working one-on-one with me. That one is more of a six-month commitment. So definitely bigger on the financial end, but that is one that you do absolutely have to get in on a phone call. Otherwise, I do offer a few sessions if you want to just get a couple of private sessions, or you can just do the Mind Rewire course for $549. The Mind Rewire course does include 2 group phone calls a week on Tuesday morning and 1 on Thursday night, so know that that is there. You will still be hearing my voice and working with me outside of the videos. But if you want private work, the other way would be to either join the Master Movement group or to just grab a few of the sessions that I have open for private times. So I just want to say thank you, blessings and peace. I really do. I am extremely grateful that you came and joined me here. Again, my name is Christy. You can email me at Christy@MindRewire. If you have any questions, if you want to ask before you purchase, please get onto that email. Ask me anything you want to. And I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But in the meantime, know that you can have a strong finish. All right? This is Mind Rewire. Blessings. And we will be talking to you soon.